in the house. Brooklyn's in the house. Brooklyn's in the house. Brooklyn's in the house. Brooklyn's in the house.
You with the boxing guru. For this episode of Under the Microscope, we're gonna focus in on the young fighter Bruce Shu Shu Carrington. Oh yes, it was an electrifying fight last night. It was on ESPN. Was it the yeah, ESPN Plus. He's definitely trying to stake his claim as the new takeover, the new face of Brooklyn boxing. He's a young sensational fighter now since Chris Colbert done fell off. So Bruce is definitely a fighter, a prospect, up and coming fighter, somebody you should be watching because he's definitely electrifying. He reminds me facial like a young Puff Daddy, a real young Puff Daddy. How he look, he definitely has that New York look, clean cut face. His fighting style definitely remind me of a New Yorker. Junior Jones, he fights like him, tall, rangy for the division that he fights in. Junior Jones was definitely a fan-friendly, exciting fighter, former world champ. Give a shout out to my guy, Junior. I love being in the Barclays Center when I run into him. He probably be there for when Tank Davis fight Junior Jones. But Shu Shu is definitely, has that type of style. He has a little bit of that Adrian Broner type too. Come forward, try to dig to the body, throw hooks, try to smother his opponents. It was an entertaining fight last night. Even though he knocked the guy out with a hell of a 2-3 punch, a right hand, and a crispy left hook. But he's definitely got to get back in that gym where he can practice because, even though he got away with it last night, he was getting touched up. It definitely showed that he has to work on a lot of things, the flaws of him just being forced to come forward. So that's going to play a part when he fight stiffer competition, but that'll be real later in his career. He definitely will be a world champion in my opinion. But I think he's going to meet his match like Junior Jones did against like Eric Morales. So Shu Shu definitely, going to be able to get away with it now. But like I said, that style of coming forward, being flat-footed, heavy on his feet, he's setting himself up for failure, later in later in his career as far as the tougher fights because those guys can punch. The punches he was getting hit with last night, if it was a top-notch guy, not a hand-picked guy, it could have been dividends. But he held up as a young fighter was supposed to do. They put him in tough. So that definitely showed it was a good opponent to show the flaws and what they need to work on if he definitely want to be successful later in his career. Even I think it was Andre Ward and Tim Bradley. They like him, because he on the ESPN banner. But, they kept it real far as the flaws and different things. Like I said, with him being flat-footed, he's just leaving himself vulnerable to get hit with shots. He's standing in the pocket too long, in my opinion, admiring his work, and it's easy to touch him. So even though he's rose with a lot of shots and counter a lot of those shots, but with heavy punchers and big punchers, they will touch him up. So I'm definitely going to be watching Shu Shu. He's definitely a good fighter, a good prospect. He definitely will be one of the faces of Brooklyn boxing. This was the one and only boxing guru. Just giving a shout out for Shu Shu. He's now 3-0. I think 3 or 4-0 with No, is he 7-0, 4 knockouts? No, that's the other guy. No, he's 3-0 with 4 knockouts or something like that. But he's definitely a work in progress. He's definitely got to be a little more looser in the ring instead of always pressing forward. He definitely got to work on just letting his punches go a little more fluently. because it's definitely going to play later down in his career. For this episode of Under the Microscope, we're just giving a shout out for Shu Shu, Bruce Carrington out of Brooklyn, New York, for his sensational knockout of his opponent on ESPN Plus.
Subscribe to me if you want more of the Boxing Guru Show.
Come get it. 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 Come get it.